So we've got a couple of steam leaks. This union here is dribbling, and I think this one is as well. So I'm not sure how well we're going to get on today. No, there's no steam getting to the cylinders. So after a little bit of bodgery, which I didn't particularly want to film, I've got this steam pipe off. So there it is in all its lagged glory. So we've got two problems. This was completely gunged up with PTFE, that well-known wonder material that really doesn't work very well. The Tommy bar holes are not really deep enough, so they break. Somebody's already used pliers to put this on, so it's pretty damaged. Really, it wants a hex filing on it, so I might try and do that. But never use PTFE, it's rubbish. And the other problem I found is that this face here is distorted. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a high spot there, and then the actual flange is bent upwards on this side. So not great actually, but we'll fix it. Of course, now it makes it really easy to lag the pipes. Oh. But the first thing to do is to do something with this. It's very stiff now. It's like somebody smothered it in super glue. The end is made like a nipple, so that bit's fixed, and then this threaded part moves, but the threads are quite chewed up. And I think actually the threads here are bottoming out before that actually seals. So we might try and put a fibre washer, if I've got one small enough, on the end of there. So we'll have to have a look at that. So that's a bit more work. Okay, so this is the second attempt. I didn't film it because I was starting to lose patience. I needed to concentrate on what I was doing. So this flange, which was quite badly distorted, I filed the mating face completely flat. And you can see there's no gap there now. It's a perfect seal. I did give it the very tiniest smear of the silicone that I use, which is heat proof. It's the nice Loctite stuff. I'll show you that in a second. This fitting here is actually tapped threaded M8, which is not a great fitting for steam fittings. And whoever had attached it last had used PTFE tape, which I never use. I really don't advise using PTFE because it blocks things up. And in this case, it was actually stopping the thread from completely going home, so it wasn't sealing. So I've done a few things to this fitting. I filed flats on it, so that instead of using a Tommy bar, you can use a spanner. I cleaned all the PTFE tape off, and again I've just used a very thin smear of my high temperature silicone. Again, don't like using it on that type of fitting, but because such a coarse metric thread's been used, you're really on a bit of a losing battle with trying to seal that. So that actually has seated in firmly now, so I'm happy with that. And obviously there's a bit of silicone there just to stop the steam escaping through the threads. So I'm hoping those two together will make a difference. Now unfortunately I did put some low-tack tape on the boiler to protect it while I was using the spanners on that fitting, and of course the tape's actually pulled some paint off. So best laid plans, as Shakespeare used to say. Anyway, so I'm going to leave the silicone to go off overnight, and then I shall put the last few fittings into the boiler, just to I thought I'd let the silicone go off first, so I don't want to disturb it. So I've just got a few screws to hold the cabin and a couple of screws for the smoke box. I'll do that tomorrow and then we'll have another test. So hopefully that's it. All the steam leaks sorted out. Fingers crossed. So join me again tomorrow. This is the silicone that I use. It's some very expensive 5920 copper silicone. So it's actually a copper colour. I assume it's got some sort of copper powder in it. So it's high temperature. I don't use it a lot, but I find it very useful. You only need a very tiny amount. It's very good for steam type issues, and I've probably had this for, I don't know, maybe 10 years, and I've only used a tiny little blob of it really. So it does last a long time, so I don't recommend using silicone, but sometimes you have to use it. And if you have to use it, you best use some decent stuff, I think. Not the bathroom sealant. Let's use some proper, decent quality stuff. So that's what I use, and I hope that's interesting to somebody.